The Lament of Annabel Lee. Once upon a time there was a kingdom nestled by the endless blue of the ocean, where the golden light of the stars danced upon the waves. This kingdom breathed love, its winds whispering tales of passion, and its shores echoing melodies of devotion. In this enchanted realm lived a young woman named Annabel Lee, whose beauty was not just of the flesh but of the soul. Her voice blended seamlessly with the murmur of the waves, her laughter capable of coaxing flowers to bloom anew. But Annabel Lee, the kingdom's most treasured gem, gave her heart not to the noble suitors who vied for her hand, but to a humble poet. This young man, orphaned and solitary, spent his days weaving verses by the sea. Their love was a force unlike any other, transcending time and space, a bond so powerful that it shook the heavens. Yet such a love was bound to attract shadows in a world that thrives on envy. Annabel Lee's family disapproved of their love from the start. Her mother often declared, "A noble girl cannot surrender her future to the dreams of a mere poet." Her father, though silent, wielded his disapproval like a blade, his eyes cutting deeper than words. Even her sisters mocked their love with disdainful laughter. "Who is this boy? Can love feed an empty stomach?" they scoffed. To them, this love was foolish. To Annabel Lee, it was her entire existence. The poet knew this too. He felt the weight of their disdain and something greater, the jealousy of the angels above. For their love was a spark too bright, a flame too pure for both heaven and earth to bear. One autumn evening, the kingdom's skies darkened. Clouds gathered like an army and the wind began to howl, carrying with it a lament from the depths of the ocean. It was no ordinary storm. It was the harbinger of fate. Annabel Lee, vibrant and full of life just days before, suddenly grew pale and frail. Her radiant eyes dimmed, her strength waned. The poet stayed by her side, reading her verses of eternal love, holding her hand as though his touch could anchor her soul to this world. "Even if you leave this earth," he whispered, "you will always be mine." But the storm's fury grew stronger, the winds colder. That night, Annabel Lee drew her final breath, her last words a soft prayer, murmuring his name. The sea roared in mourning, its waves crashing with an anguish only it could understand. In death, Annabel Lee's family sought to exert control once more. They resolved to bury her far from the poet, in a cold tomb atop a high cliff overlooking the sea. When the poet heard of their decision, he stormed to her family's estate, his voice trembling with grief and defiance. "You cannot keep her from me. Not in life, not in death. Stone walls cannot confine our love." But his pleas fell on deaf ears. Annabel Lee's body was entombed in stone, her grave a fortress against the love that had bound her to the poet. Yet he would not be deterred. Every night he crept to her tomb, his words a prayer to the stars, his tears mingling with the salt of the sea. "You are still with me," he whispered to the wind. "Not even death can separate us." In his mourning, the poet's sorrow grew into obsession. The nights he spent at her grave turned into days of quiet investigation. He began to notice strange behaviors from her family, whispers in the shadows, secrets hidden behind closed doors. One night, he followed her father to a cave behind the cliffs, his heart pounding with dread and hope. When her father departed, the poet entered the cave. Inside, he discovered a glass casket, its surface glistening, with the light of the moon filtering through cracks in the stone. Within lay Annabel Lee, her body preserved as though asleep, her beauty untouched by death. The poet fell to his knees, tears streaming as he realized the truth. She had been stolen from him, not only in life but in death. Her family, unwilling to let her go, had entombed her in this hidden chamber. The poet, overcome with grief and rage, returned to the cliffs that night. Standing before the endless expanse of the sea, he cried out to the heavens, "Angels of envy, mortals of greed, you cannot break us. Our love is eternal beyond your reach." That night, legend has it, the winds howled louder than ever before, the waves rising to touch the stars. The poet claimed to see her spirit in the moonlight, smiling at him one last time. The next day, neither the poet nor Annabel Lee's tomb could be found. But the kingdom's winds carried a new song, a haunting melody of love that echoed in the waves and the stars. Annabel Lee and her poet became an eternal part of the kingdom's lore. Their love, a force so strong it defied death itself, lived on in the whispers of the sea and the glow of the night sky. Their story was a testament to the power of love, unyielding even in the face of mortality. For in their kingdom by the sea, the song of Annabel Lee and her beloved would forever endure, a reminder that love transcends all envy, death, and even time itself.